and welcome to Yoga with Julia Wiley. I'm Julia and over on the sofa is Lucy.
Today we're going to be doing a Yin Yang yoga session using yoga blocks.
Now it can be done without them, but they are readily available and not expensive. You can get them online or from most sports shops. The kind that I like are the slightly squashy ones, like these. We're going to start off using just one for the first part of the class and then two a little bit later on. Okay, let's get started.
We'll start with the Yang yoga section of the class.
So come to standing and bring one of your yoga blocks next to one of your feet. Now if you bring your foot onto it, see if you can balance your weight on there. It can be a little bit wobbly, so be careful. Come onto the tiptoes on the other foot and then bring the hands to Namaste at the heart center. Now while you're standing on this block, try squeezing your toes. You're strengthening the toes and then rocking your feet a little bit forward and backwards, just to get used to what it feels like on the block, but also strengthening up the foot muscles and the ankle muscles. And then if you feel comfortable here, see if you can bring up your opposite leg, the knee bent, find the balance here, and then do foot circles, so round and round in one direction, and round the other way, and then up and down. And then see if you can take the leg out to the side, hold it there, and back to the center, and lower. And then we'll do that on the other side. So shift the block over slightly. If you're on a carpet as well as a yoga mat and a block, you have a lot of cushioning, so it can be quite wobbly. So you might find that you'd prefer just to do it on the floor to start with. If you can use a block, step on, so tiptoes on the opposite foot, hands at the heart center. Now squeeze the toes into the block, strengthening them, and try shifting your weight a little bit forwards and backwards and side to side. Just using all the foot muscles and the ankle muscles to support you. And then see if you can find your balance there. And bend the knee, lifting up your opposite foot. And then let's do some foot circles. Round and round one way, and the other way, and up and down a few times, and then see if you can take the knee out to the side, and back to the center, and slowly lower. Well done. And take hold of your yoga block and bring it out in front of you. You can have it this way, or this way, depending on your flexibility. You'll see in a moment. We're going to come into triangle pose, so you stretch out and bring your hand down. See if you can get it onto the block. So it could be this height, or this height, or this height, whatever works for you. And we're going to try to get your hands, your two shoulders, and your top hand all in a straight line. And then from here we're going to go into a revolved triangle. So bring down your right hand onto the block, swivel round and take the left hand up to the ceiling. Again, you can have the block on different heights, whatever works for you. And ease yourself back around. Now grab hold of the block, bring it out in front of you, bending the front knee. We're going to go into a half moon balance. Again, you can have the block on whatever height works for you. Shift your weight onto the front leg, holding the block nice and steadily. See if you can take up the back leg, opening the hip towards the ceiling. Lift the back leg nice and high, and lift up the top arm as well if you can. Now keep looking down for balance. Half moon pose. Bend the leg you're standing on and step back onto the back foot. Bring yourself up into warrior two pose. Well done. We'll do that on the other side. So shift your weight around. Bring your block down on the other side, ready for your triangle pose. So right foot facing out, left foot in slightly, arms to the sides. Then stretch forward, bring yourself down. Grab that block, bring it in front of the foot. Again, whichever height works for you for this pose. Opening up the shoulders, opening the chest towards the ceiling. Look up towards your top hand and breathe here. And then we'll take it to the revolve triangle. So your left hand comes down onto the block and swivel around looking up behind you. So this really helps you to get into the pose more easily. Ease yourself back out of that. Bend the front knee and slide your block forwards, ready for your half moon pose. You might like to have it on a slightly higher height for this, it's up to you. Bring your other hand on the small of the back if you like, to help you get into the pose. So slide onto the front leg, take your back leg up, and then your left hand to the ceiling. Lift that back leg up nice and high. And then bend the leg, you're standing on, step way back on the back foot and bring yourself up into warrior two pose. Well done. And step yourself back up again to the front of the mat. Hold the block between your two hands, reach up and back and sit yourself down into chair pose. So working on the shoulder flexibility. Now squeeze your hands towards each other as you're pulling back. Look down, make sure that you're sitting back so your knees are behind your toes. And then come forward to a flat back. Now stretch out with the block, pressing the hands together. And let yourself round down. Now turn the block lengthways on the floor, and we're going to do a narrow plank. So bring your hands onto the top of the block, walk yourself back into a plank pose. Holding it here. Now tuck the tailbone under and push into the block so you're lifting up that space between the shoulder blades as high as you can get it. Breathe into the pose. And then see if you can shift your weight onto one leg and take the other leg up without bending at the hips. And then switch over, lift the other leg up, hold it, and release. Well done. And then bring yourself down to sitting. Now bring the block between your knees and use your leg strength just to squeeze the block together. So just like little pulses. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Okay, now keep it squeezed. Bend your knees, bring your arms out in front of you. See if you can find that balance. So you're still squeezing that block as you come up into your boat balance. You might like to get your legs even straighter, stretching them out, squeezing the block, and then bend the legs again. Bring the block, if you can, between your feet. If you can't get them there, just keep it between the knees or the legs. Reach out. Now we're going to come back into a version of the boat. You lean right back, and we're going to do a sort of a relay. So bend the knees, grab hold of your block into your hands, and take that behind your head. Let's come in, swap to the feet, and reach back out. This is quite an intense exercise, working on the core muscles, working on the abs. Go back and forth a few times. It's quite hard. Okay, let's do one more. Oh, well done.
And now we'll get on to the more gentle yin yoga section. Take your yoga block behind you.
Want it about the middle of your back. Ease yourself down very gently and lie on the block. See if you can straighten your legs out and relax here. Just let go and feel this opening up of the chest, stretching out of the back in this restorative yoga pose, making use of the yoga block. ease yourself up. Hello, Lucy. From this pose, bring your block in between your feet, squeeze it in, and we're going to do a forward fold while squeezing in the block. Aren't we, Lucy? So stretch forward and let yourself relax down over your leg or your dog. So squeezing the feet together as you do it. Are you helping? Where's your yoga block, Lucy? And relax from that. Now we're going to do a very intense shoulder stretch. For the next one you're going to need 2 blocks. So bring them out in front of you and bring your elbows one on each block, and then so you're kneeling, you're going to lean back. See if you can bring your hands behind the back of your neck into a prayer position if possible, and pull back with your hips, and you'll feel this is a very intense shoulder stretch, upper arm stretch. Just relax your head down so you can adjust yourself a little bit further forward, a little bit further back if you want it more or less intense, and breathe and relax into it. If you find this very easy, you can always bring the blocks so that they're on a slightly higher setting for your elbows, like this. Same thing, just lean into it, let your head relax down. And slowly ease yourself up from that pose. We're going to come into a bridge pose now. So bring the block between your thighs, lie yourself down, have the feet close to your hips, and then push your hips right up into the air, squeezing the block together between your legs. So lower your hips down, keep squeezing the block, and lift it up. Let's do that again. So lowering down, still squeezing, and lift up. Squeeze, squeeze, hold it, and release. And then to finish off, we're going to do some lying twists. So all you need to do is bring the block to one side, let your knees flop over, and then let the knees come up. Take your block to the other side and just relax. Letting the knees just flop gently over to the side. And then for our Shavasana, just stretch your legs out and relax here. If you wanted to, you could go back into that restorative yoga pose with the block, perhaps put it lengthwise down your spine, and you may like the other block behind your head, so you ease yourself back and have it on whichever height works for you, and relax this way. This is a wonderful way to just open the heart, stretching out the back in a very gentle and relaxing pose. Very, very gently and slowly ease yourself back up to sitting. So I hope you've enjoyed this yoga class using the yoga blocks. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below, and I hope to see you again soon. So for now, goodbye from me and from Lucy. Namaste.